I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. Now, I want to call this segment of the teaching, Trump Dump Tim Scott. Trump Dump Tim Scott. Tim Scott's one of the biggest phonies I've seen in my life. Well, I've seen a whole lot of phonies, so let me not give him the prize. He might take that as a compliment. So Tim Scott, right, dropped out of the race a couple of weeks ago. He wasn't going. He was out there in Iowa, trying to talk like a preacher, always talking about how he grew up poor, right? And now he ran for president. He didn't get anywhere. It was in Iowa. He wasn't going anywhere. Everybody knew he wasn't going anywhere. So I think he was running for vice president. That's what he was running for. So Ron DeSantis dropped out of the race on yesterday also, after he realized his campaign ain't going nowhere, and immediately kissed Donald Trump's ring, right? After Donald Trump called him Ron DeSantis and a bunch of other things he said about him, Ron got out the race and then kissed Donald Trump's ring. Ron, this boy's a weirdo. I mean, I'm amazed because he's a graduate, I think, of Harvard, and I think he's a graduate of Yale Law School. I'm gonna tell you something, that Yale Law School don't play. Now, you graduate Yale, they got the toughest law school on the planet. I mean, I probably would have a difficult time trying to get out of Yale Law School. Anyway, but this guy, the way he became president, governor of Florida, he had some little babies, kids, right, children, and they were little toddlers, and he was reading the nighttime nursery rhymes about Trump. And Trump fell in love with him and endorsed him, and people in Florida fell in love with him and endorsed him. And he won the governorship of Florida. Then he beat this other guy, Rick Scott, down there. They beat the living daylights out of him in a 20-point advantage. But he ain't no politician, this guy. This guy, Ron DeSantis, ought to get out of political business altogether. But at any rate, he dropped out yesterday. Now it's just a two-man race. Or should I call it a two-man race? Because you got Nikki Haley, and she's a woman. At least I think she is. And you got Tribulation Trump. I raised the question the other day, was Tribulation Trump gay? People got really mad with me. So, that all gone. I'm a journalist. I can raise questions. And so now it's a two-man race, or a man and a woman race, I should say. So Tim Scott announced on yesterday that, let me see it. I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Tim Scott announced on yesterday he's getting married to this white woman. And everybody knows Tim Scott is gay. Let me tell you something. Tim Scott, who's 58 years old, right? Put his picture back up there, Mr. Engineer. If y'all listen, the other thing about it is, I'll put Tim Scott on one of the ugly Negroes. I got a list of ugly Negroes. Look at all the gums he got. He got more gums than he got teeth. Stop smiling. Close your mouth. You're going to catch some gnats or flies in there. But stop smiling, boy. You say, Pastor Manning, you're a pastor. You shouldn't be talking about people like that. Why not? Why? Well, it's not nice. Well, what's wrong with it? Am I lying? And the other thing is that I wouldn't be talking about it if he wouldn't pull this stunt that he pulled yesterday. It says here, Senator Tim Scott engaged to interior designer girlfriend Mindy Nose after proposing on South Carolina Kiowa Island amid speculation he could be Trump's vice. So here's what this all gums man did. I call him Gummy. I'll just tell it like it is. Can I say something here? Leave that up there, Mr. Engineer. I was talking to the Lord. What's today? Today is Monday. I don't know what you'll see this, but it was Sunday morning. It was early Sunday morning. I was talking to the Lord. So I was telling the Lord, about what I'm doing and, how people are reacting to it. And, because I do a lot of things that perhaps may be unconventional, right? You know what the Lord told me? This is the absolute truth. The Lord told me, I made you. So what do I mean by that? He said, them people that criticize you, if they criticize you for using words in the Bible such as damn or ass or hell, Can I tell you what the Lord told me? This will blow you down. God told me, Lord said to me, I made you, not them people. The people that criticize you, they ain't the one that made you. I said, Lord, have mercy. I've had a lot of good prayer meetings with the Lord. But he said, you just keep being who I made you to be. I made you funny. By funny, I don't mean funny like this boy. I made you comedic. God, I'm telling you, I'm telling you what the Lord, I wouldn't lie on Jesus. The Lord told me early Sunday morning, he said, I'm the one that made you. Don't you let these people change you. Don't you let the people make sure they don't like what you have to see. Let them go someplace. Let them go to some other church. Let them turn you off. Let them disengage. You keep being you. The Lord said, I'm the one that made you like you are. I'm the one that made you. So now, boy, I'll tell you, I had a powerful Sunday morning yesterday. I'm telling you the absolute stone, true. I had a powerful Sunday morning. You know, 'cause a lot of people, well, you should do this. You should be this. You should be that. God said, no, I'm the one that fashioned you. I'm the one that made you. I gave you that spirit of laughter. I gave you a loud voice. I gave you your intellect. I gave you the tongue of the learned. I made you. You don't have to run around and try to act apostolic or Pentecostal or anything else. Just be you, and you'll be successful. Just be you. When the Lord told me that, I said, Lord, have mercy. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't know why he used them words in the Bible. Yeah, I know ass is in the Bible, and I know damn is in the Bible. I know here, but he takes it out of context, as if you're some sort of English teacher, right? Let me ask you a question. And I'm through with this. We have a woman in our church. Her name is Sabbath. I named her Sabbath. Her father's here now. He's in the building. I heard her name was Gannett or something like that. So let me ask you a question. You say I take things out of context, right? You were the great English teacher, right? So the Bible says, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Right? That's the context everybody knows it in. So if I take the word Sabbath and name somebody Sabbath, am I taking it out of context? Come on, you can talk to Pastor Manning. Come on. I know you ain't got nothing to say. Like they said, I don't know, Ada Bell would say, you just got sacked up. I just sacked you up. Oh, so if you'll never hear me use any word that's not in the Bible. If it's in the Bible, you say I've taken it out of context. But if it's in the Bible, I'm going to use it. In the context that's most appropriate, I'm going to use it. Not your context. All right, so let's go back. Bring up Tim Scott one more time, Mr. Engineer. Bring Trump. Hey, listen, Trump. You know, you and I used to jiggy with you, Trump. You know that. Dump Tim Scott. Trump. That woman is a gold digger. That woman, she knows that boy is funnier than a $3 bill. She knows it. She knows that boy. And who want to kiss all them gums? Look at all them gums they got on the lip. Anyway, so she figures he gonna get the vice presidential nod. Now they're not gonna get married until he gets the nod. Right? If he gets the nod, bam, they're going to call me down to South Carolina to perform the wedding ceremony. See, what she wants to be in the White House. Now, she got plenty, but the woman's richer than rich. The woman's richer than Lorena Helmsley, whatever her name was. The woman got money. And Tim Scott, 58 years old. How is it that a man has lived 58 years as a black man, as a senator, as an educated man, and ain't got no woman, ain't never been married before? Something funny. Now all of a sudden he's going to get married. So listen, Trump, let me tell you what, Trump, let me talk to you. I know y'all don't listen to me, but Trump, you can't let that boy be your vice president. First of all, because he's funny. But the second thing is that Trump, everybody going to say, Tim Scott done run a Mickey Ficky on you, boy. Tim Scott done pull one out the hat on you just to get the VP nod. Otherwise, he wouldn't marry that. He ain't marrying that woman because he love her. He ain't marrying that woman because they, should I say getting it on? He ain't marrying her because he want to be the VP. And she marrying him because she want to be a socialite. She want to be flying around on the VP place. She want to live in the Eisenhower house. She wants all her family and friends to know she done made it big time. What? You say, well, Pastor Manning, ain't that what they all do? Yeah, I have to recant. because that's what they're all. Well, not all of them. I think there's some people actually in politics that are actually genuine people. I actually do. Let me see if I can think about anybody right now that's actually genuinely in politics because they're a genuine person. Let me think. Let me think for just a second. Let me think. Who can I find that's actually in politics because they are not a hypocrite? They genuinely want to help people. They're not phonies. Let me think for just a second. Put on my thinking that. I'm thinking now. Can y'all think about anybody? I'm thinking, but it ain't that boy. It ain't Tim Scott. I can tell you that right now. Another thing, let me say this with this South Carolina. South Carolina is a jinx state. Ask Angela King. Let me tell you something, Trump. Let me tell you something about when my grandfather, Daddy Neil, he's Mama Neil's husband. My grandfather, he had a 1955, his son bought him a 1955 Buick Special two-door. That was a bad mamma jamma. And so he was a bootlegger, but he also was a small-time hustler. And when people wanted to get some root working, because a lot of root working was going on back in the 60s, the 50s and the 60s, a lot of root work in the 60s and the 70s, back in North Carolina, they're doing a lot of root working. Now, if y'all don't know what root working is, I can't tell you, but it's voodoo. In South Carolina is voodoo headquarters. So he would have me drive him and 3 other people down to Florida, South Carolina to this voodoo worker. And they come out there going, I've been sitting in the radio listening to Roy Orbison, and Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry, and I've been listening to the music. I ain't paying no attention because they're old people. I'm just 14 years old, right? They come out that root worker's house with bags of stuff. And they pay my granddad, and he give me a couple of dollars too for driving it down to the root worker. So let me tell you something, Trump. This boy comes from root working country. Tim Scott comes from root working country. And so does this woman. And I'm going to tell you, they might start working roots on you, Trump. That's right. Tim Scott may. Now, he couldn't win the election, but he could be root working. It could be root working on you. And they get in that White House, start root working in the White House. I mean, come on, now, the man's 60 years old, ain't never been married before. I wouldn't trust that. Trump, you can't trust him. Trump, you got to dump Tim Scott. You can't, don't make, whatever you do. And don't get that DeSantis boy either. Don't get the DeSantis boy. And the other thing is this, had y'all heard about this, that it was Nikki Haley that recommended, whatever it was, that Tim Scott become a senator because he couldn't get elected on his own. And it was Nikki Haley that did it. She was governor of South Carolina. She gave him his first senatorial call. And when he finally gets out of the race to become president, rather than him endorsing Nikki Haley, he endorses Trump. So this boy, and he's lying too. He said lifelong bachelor Scott has long been private about his dating life. But after meeting the Osei at church a year ago and bonding over Bible study, they lied on the Bible. These people lied on the Bible. They've been private about. He's 60 years old and nobody knows he ain't never dated no woman before. Now all of a sudden this one woman has been able to thrill him. They lied on the Bible. Watch this. No, at church a year ago and bonding over Bible study, he knew he had met his soulmate. Scott told the Washington Post, I've been very patient. This boy's lying. He's lying on Jesus. I've been patient and prayerful. 60 years and nobody? 60 years? Trump, I'm telling you, Trump, if you choose Tim Scott or Ron DeSantis, by the way, it ain't yet clear that Trump's gonna, I was pretty, hard and fast that Trump's gonna be the nominee, but I'm not so sure no more. Because what's her name, Nikki Haley, she came in third in Iowa, but she closed the gap on Ron DeSantis. And the election going to be held tomorrow in New Hampshire, and she may pull an upset there. I don't think that she will, but it's a possibility. She can actually pull an upset and win in New Hampshire. After that, it'll be on. Then she's going down to South Carolina, and Trump got all these legal problems. And you know, it ain't over with yet. It ain't, you know what they say about the fat lady, it ain't over till the fat lady sing. It ain't over, it really isn't over yet. Nikki Haley could pull this thing off. I'll tell you what Elizabeth told me. I don't know if y'all want to believe this. You can take it with a grain, you can think what you want. But Elizabeth told me, y'all know how. She told me that the Democrats, Joe Biden, my time Biden, that they're grooming Michelle the fist bumper Obama. And they're going to drop the hammer back sometime in March. They're going to put Joe Biden going to stumble, fall down, getting off Air Force One. Well, that ain't what Elizabeth didn't tell me that. I'm just I'm making the rest of this up. But no, she did say that it looks like they're going to, that the Democrats, because they realize Biden, everybody say he's old, 80 years old, or he acts old, walks old, talks old. So they're going to run Michelle the fist bumper. Michelle the fist bumper was on the daytime television show, on that show with all the women. What's they call it? The Live or the something? I don't know what they call that show with all them women on there all the time, with that Joy Behar and that Whoopi Goldberg. Y'all know that show I'm talking about? Anyway, she's on that other day talking about she is horrified at what happened if Trump becomes president again. I was horrified when her husband illegally took the office, but you know, you can deal with that the way you want to deal with it. So it ain't over with yet. This thing ain't, listen, Trump may not even make it to the finish line. He may not get nominated. It may be Michelle the fist bumper against Nikki Haley. You never know. Whatever it is, I'll be reporting it.